Hi everybody, welcome to TNT. I'd like to say it's a fine and sunny day, but it's not. A bit of a wet and wild day here on the coast of the Andaman Sea in PHANG, of the very outskirts of a storm that's been making its way across the South China Sea over the weekend, made impact with Vietnam's coast yesterday. This is the story talking about the storm Bualoi. And it's been downgraded from a typhoon just to a tropical storm. You can see it still sucking in water from the South China Sea into the Hanoi area in northern Vietnam. But just moving out a little bit further, we can see that the storm was getting a lot of its strength by sucking in air and moisture from the South China Sea. And just before we check on an animation showing the progress of the Typhoon Bualoi over the South China Sea into the Vietnamese coast over the weekend, a very big thank you to all the people that have subscribed to Buy Me a Coffee. I really appreciate your generosity, so thank you very much. And also to CK for these great shirts from Banyan Tide. There's a link in the description as well. I'll be wearing one of these shirts over the next, I think 10 weeks. A big thanks to Banyan Tide. But let's go to these animations I recorded over the weekend. This animation showing the progress of Bualoi through the South China Sea, building speed and building power as it was approaching the North Vietnamese coast. And we can see as it got closer, it was sort of heading in the northwesterly direction, and it started almost sort of scooting along the coast, sort of spreading its destruction really along all the townships and cities along the coast. But you can see as it got closer, it was getting darker. That means the wind power was getting stronger, and off the chart on our Venture Sky chart there, winds exceeding 100 miles per hour. And now losing strength as it makes its way inland, but it did cause quite a lot of destruction, lives lost as well. We'll check on the news stories, but now it's a problem for Thailand because all that moisture that's been dragged in from the Indian Ocean and the South China Sea is now being circulated and dropped in places like northeastern and northern Thailand, but really the whole of Thailand has been suffering from quite a lot of let's say moisture over the past couple of days, and that's likely to continue. Now let's go to this news from the South China Morning Post. 2 dead, 12 missing as Typhoon Bualoi batters Vietnam with terrible gusts. One resident there saying no one dares to go out. Let's check the story. Typhoon Bualoi made landfall in northern central Vietnam in the early hours of Monday, damaging houses and knocking down power grids, with at least 2 people dead and 12 fishermen missing as the storm brought flooding rains and huge swells. It says before making landfall, Bualoi had moved along the country's coastline for several hours, causing waves as high as 8 metres. And in this report, 1 person died after being caught in floodwater in Ho City, while 12 fishermen were missing after huge waves sank 4 fishing boats. And the 16-year-old was also killed on Sunday in the same province by electrocution during heavy rain and strong winds. The government evacuated more than 28,500 people, while hundreds of flights were cancelled or delayed as 4 airports in central provinces were closed. And then the cyclone, usually referred to as a typhoon in this part of the world, has triggered heavy rains across most of Vietnam since Saturday, and authorities have warned of the risk of severe floods and landslides. And then importantly, Bualoi had left at least 20 people dead in the central Philippines since Friday, mostly from drownings and falling trees, and knocked out power in several towns and cities. And then with a long coastline facing the South China Sea, Vietnam is prone to typhoons that are often formed east of the Philippines. And then finally, as often mentioned, global warming is making storms stronger and wetter, according to experts, since warmer oceans provide tropical storms with more fuel, driving more intense winds. A little bit of video footage there from Weather Unchained on the YouTube channel. I did read through the comments to see if anybody was calling it out as fake. It seems to be all verified footage from this particular storm. Now we go to VN Express now. They've got a more updated story on this particular storm. And reported on VN Express, the headline, Storm Bualoi's impact kills 6 in northern Vietnam. And severe storms and strong winds linked to Storm Bualoi swept through the Ninh province, killing 6 people and damaging houses, schools and power poles. And it says a tornado tore the roof off a home, killing 4 people and injuring 3 others. And after about 7 hours affecting the central provinces, the storm centre approached the Vietnam-Laos border, bringing winds of 75 to 88 kilometres per hour and heavy rains across the north central and Red River Delta regions. So there's already been quite a lot of rain in parts of Thailand over the past few days. Certainly in the next few days we can expect heavy rain in places like northeast Thailand, northern Thailand and around central Thailand in Bangkok. We're certainly getting our fair share here today. Keep an eye on the weather. If you are flying to Thailand, there's no problems. Thailand's still fully open, but you might need an umbrella for the next few days. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Maybe even give us a thumbs up. And once again, thanks to Banyan Tide. Beautiful shirts. Very nice to wear indeed. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.